Good morning. Happy Tuesday, y'all. I'm the Moon Mama. How y'all doing today? Okay, let me say that this Mercury retrograde, after every video I do, I'm confused. I feel like, did I say anything that makes sense to anybody? That's the thing that Mercury retrograde does. Mercury retrograde has a way of, um, for me, it makes me feel like I'm not clear. It makes me feel like it makes me feel disconnected in this weird way. It just washes me out. It washes my mental energy out. And so if I've been all over the place or anything like that, I apologize. I have a schedule. So, the moon is what it is. So it's not like I have to I have to figure things out because I know where the moon is every day, but I feel like I'm speaking about it in a way that's illogical. And I know that that's not entirely the truth, but I just want to say that just to kind of tell on myself because that helps me. That helps me clarify when I can say how I'm feeling internally. I was watching an old HBO special with Dave Chappelle yesterday. Dave Chappelle is such a genius. He's such a genius. But he was talking about women in this special. I think it's called Killing Me Softly is the name of the special. And he was talking about women in the special, and he was saying how everything for us is about our feelings, right? And so I have to address my feelings because if I don't, then they're in there running and it's like I'm faking over them. If I'm not addressing what I'm really feeling, it's like I'm not being totally authentic, and then that's going to interfere with what I'm doing. Okay, so today is a Mars day. Mars is in Pisces. Mars is the planet that governs our action, how we take action. It's the warrior, it's the archetype of the warrior. And so, warriors are really the archetype of the warrior simply means this: it's moving out of one state and into another. And that takes an enormous amount of energy, like to move out of inaction into action. Like you have to create a momentum to move out of the unseen and into the seen, to move out of to move out of being active and into inactive. All of those energies take a great deal of um, intention or focus or strategy in order to create that. And so Mars is in Pisces, and Pisces is our collective subconscious. It's the things that we don't necessarily know, but they are running us, right? So you're breathing, you're not thinking about your breathing, but you're breathing. You're thinking thoughts. You're not probably even listening to what your thoughts are, but you're thinking thoughts. That's the subconscious. And the subconscious is, it's the subconscious is really the truth of who we are. It's really it's the reason I do this work, because when I realized that my subconscious was what was really running me, that I had deep belief systems of feeling unworthy and like I didn't belong, and that those belief systems came from my family of origin because, what I heard my mother say or what I saw my father do or what happened to my grandfather when he was whatever, what happened. Like when I realized that all of these subconscious energies were impacting me and were impacting me in a way that I didn't like it, that I was in a lot of pain and despair and depression and, feeling chaotic, I realized that I had to do something to get to my subconscious. And the moon is the planet that governs our subconscious. It governs our internal realities. And so that's why I do this work, to talk about what's going on with the moon, what's going on within us, so that we can have more power and be able to make more choices and not be at the effect of these belief systems that are under the current, that are then impacting us in our regular daily lives without us even knowing it. And that's why we have to deal with our feelings. That's why women, just so funny, David Chappelle is talking about women and our feelings. But when we don't deal with our feelings, because we have all of this subconscious internal power, those feelings become real invisible energies that are impacting our lives. So, there have been times in my life where I've been thinking, like I was telling you guys once before, when I was getting divorced, my ex-husband and I were splitting, or my first husband and I'm going to start using my first husband and I were ending our marriage. I was so angry with him over certain things that people get angry over, but I was so angry, and I used to think about him. I used to think about him in negative ways. I'll say it that way. I would think about him in negative ways, and I would seethe about it. Like I was so about it, enraged. And one day he came and he's like, he had been hit by a Mack truck, like his car had been hit by a truck, and in that moment, I just realized that it was my subconscious wishings, longings, that he have some pain that was a part of that creation. And so it's very important for women to be aware of our subconscious energies. That's why women should follow the moon, so that we can understand how we're impacting and creating our daily lives, because we're impacting people. In Alzheimer's studies, they have proven that women, when they have opened up the brain of women who've died from Alzheimer's, what they find on women's brains is the cells are the cells of your children. So if this is an electromagnetic outlet that's sending out signals, this is what the brain is, the head is, it's sending out signals, and your children's cells are on your brain, you have to think positively about your children because you're creating their reality. That's how it works. But women are creating the reality for everyone because we have this brain and womb connection, and the womb creates everything. Like it can give life to everything, even images and desires. It doesn't have to be semen in there in order for it to create a human being. You're creating all the time. And so I'm just saying all of this to say, pay attention and join the moon work, because the moon work will help you understand how to focus this energy. Most of us just have unfocused energy, and that's why we're having experiences with people that we don't like, or we're having, experiences with work and money, because our subconscious stuff is running us and we don't have the tools to actually go into it to reorganize it. But the moon work is doing that. Like, I have created something to help you guys, to help us all, including myself, work this out. And so the moon today is in Leo. And the moon in Leo governs our hearts, our love, our romance. But that's sort of a way of dumbing it down. It really is just love. Leo is love. It's governed by the sun. And the sun is consistent, and it shines forth light no matter what. That's the same that's true for love. Love does not change its color or its form or its function. No matter what we try to do to it, love is what it is. And it is unconditional, no matter if we think it is or not. And so think about your love relationships. Are you unconditional in your love relationships, or do you have a lot of, well, if you would do this, I would, and if you would, and I would, but you didn't, so I don't, and yeah, that's not love. That's not love. And really, the best way to access love is just by loving yourself, right? And the most profound way to be in loving relationships with others is if you are in love with yourself. And so that's the energy of Leo. When you're in love with life, you're in love with the possibilities, you're in love with what is, you're in love with who you are, you're in love with everyone around you, because love is the activating force of life, and without it, there is nothing. One of the things that I wanted to talk about a little bit today is because I read this article in the New York Times yesterday saying white people are finally getting it, like racism. And I was asking myself, because of the class I'm teaching, I really encourage you all to join the Mercury retrograde course. It is life-changing. It is a really life-changing course. And the thing that it's important for us to really learn how to do is to move this energy, these constructs, these subconscious constructs, which is like racism as a subconscious construct. It's to bring them to light. We have to bring them out of the darkness and into the light. And that's what we do in the Mercury retrograde course. And I've been thinking about, like all of what's happening right now, and what would I really want? What would I really want, like, from white people? And this is just me in my own head selfishly. And when I think about what I really would want, I would want an apology. I would want white people to apologize. And if you think about apologizing, like if you've ever apologized in your life, I apologize often when I need to. And I actually apologize. Like I don't say I'm sorry, I say I apologize. And apologies for me generally come from this space of, it's my intention to heal the wound. It's my intention to create a new understanding. It's my intention to acknowledge the other person's feelings. And even if it wasn't something I was aware of, I want to acknowledge that they felt what they felt. So I want to apologize wherever I'm from, right? If I feel like I didn't mean to do that, it wasn't my intention, I apologize that you received it that way. That wasn't my intention. Or if I feel like, because I'm not a big apology giver, right? So it's like, where is the apology coming from? So I would want an apology that comes from an awareness of what's really occurred. And then I would want a thank you. I would want thank you, because gratitude is the energy that truly heals, or appreciation. Because really what I see as Black people, what we have done in this nation, it's like we have been a huge, you think of like, I was thinking of like a fairy tale, and how when a woman once wanted to cross like a puddle of water, the man would lay his jacket down over to make sure that her shoes or anything didn't get dirty or she didn't get wet. And that's what Black people have been in this country. We have been a huge covering so that white people could just walk across and not have to endure the same type of struggle and strife that Black people have endured. Just like, so the thank you is to say, I recognize that you've done that. Your being here has created something of benefit to me. Thank you for creating something where I was able to benefit from. And I apologize that it's something that you didn't benefit from. And so it's just about an energetic cleaning up, right? And all the guilt and the shame and all that sort of stuff, we gotta learn how to bring that stuff up so that we could get to the current moment and move ourselves forward. But the guilt, the shame, the confusion, all of that that's here to just serve us into our next experience. We don't want to get stuck in guilt and shame and rage and anger. We want to address those things because they're real and then move ourselves forward. So I just wanted to share that because I've been reading a lot about that. And today, use the Leo moon. Oh, how do you want to really use the Leo moon? It's to open up to love, like real love, and get curious about what love really is and ask, what is love for me? What is love for me? What is love? Like, I literally in the last few weeks have been asking myself, what is love? Because I feel like I have had a definition that isn't aligned at all, because everything in the West is a lie. Like, everything that we've learned here is totally out of alignment with nature. And so, like, what really is love? I think it's just a good thing to consider. All right. Peace and blessings, everyone. Thank you all for your messages. Thank you for your gifts. You guys are being so generous to me. I really appreciate it. Someone sent me crystals and tea and I'm just so many wonderful things. I cannot say thank you enough. So peace and blessings. Have a wonderful day. We're still in the new moon energy. We'll be here for another day or so. So continue to clear and join the Mercury retrograde course. It's here in my link tree. Join today. We're going to do another live class tomorrow that's going to be amazing. So join. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss this work. This is how we're going to heal. All right. Peace and blessings. Bye-bye.